What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm Game Day Live. It is week 3 of the NFL season. John Impemba here with Howard Bender, taking you through the next hour, answering your start-sit questions, giving you all the latest injury news, and helping you guys set your lineups and roll through seasonal DFS. Any betting questions you may have, get them in chat. I already see our chat loaded up here, Bender. They must be here for you, sir. You know, they know you're on the show. It's a special occasion, and they're just piling in to get the great wisdom from the RotoBuzz guy.
I don't necessarily know if it's that or if the weather is just scaring the bejesus out of everybody right now. It's an obvious hot topic of conversation around the NFL and fantasy circles. So, listen, man, week 3 is a big one here. A lot of teams starting out 0-2, a lot of injuries floating around. So, yeah, people need you, John.
People need us, Howard. They definitely need us for sure. And we've had a lot of great content out throughout the week. Of course, you can find that over at Fantasy Alarm. And Howard, let's tell everybody about the great deal we have going on before we jump into it here. Our All-Pro package right now, it comes with a 7-day free trial. You can scan the QR code on the screen if you haven't already done so, or you can go to fantasyalarm.com/win. Right now, our annual subscription package is 40% off the monthly cost. So join the family for a year, save a little cash. Can't beat that. And you get access to everything that we have on site, all premium content, everything that you want to do with our Discord, premium Discord channels, our tools, our lineup generator, our optimizer, our projections, our rostership projections, you name it. Whatever is on Fantasy Alarm, you get included with your All-Pro subscription package. And the 7-day free trial is hard to beat because, Howard, it may be going away.
I believe it is going away very, very soon. Talking about that the other day that, listen, it's week 3. You've taken it for that 7-day free trial. You've taken it for a spin. Listen, I know there are people out there with multiple email addresses trying to work that scam. Right. So we're cutting that. A couple of bad apples spoiling it for the bunch.
Yeah, so check out today. Go to fantasyalarm.com/win or scan the QR code. Get your 7-day free trial before it goes away. If you get that 7-day free trial starting today, it carries through next week. So you'll get both week 3 and week 4 DFS content for free. Really hard to beat the 2-for-1 that we got going on there. And then I got to let everybody know about the Better Cast here, Howard. 8 p.m. Eastern, Sunday Night Football game. We'll have the Better Cast live for everybody here. We're gamifying Sunday Night Football on the Better Cast. There are pregame questions live right now. You download that app for free. You can scan the QR code there and submit your picks now for tonight's game. If you join the Better Cast during the game, you can predict what will happen next and test your NFL knowledge. Chat with our community. I know Howard's in there chatting it up, watching Sunday Night Football with everybody. Andrew Cooper, myself, Britt Flynn, the whole team is in there. You can talk about the big plays, top performers, and real time. And there's no purchase necessary. It's always free to play. You can take part of our free contest, win tickets, but you can then use those tickets to redeem for authentic NFL gear and signed collectibles. Again, the BetterCast app is free, so download it today. Scan the QR code on the screen and get an opportunity to win some cool prizes there, Howard.
Oh, are the commercials over?
They're done.
I usually work off of a DVR, so I usually fast forward through the commercials.
We got to pay the bills a little bit here, Howard.
Of course we have to pay the bills. You know what, though? People want questions. People go on answers. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what games you're in on, what games you're fading. Are we all loading up today on Minnesota Vikings and Los Angeles Chargers? What's going on with that? John, who's the best bargain today? I've got a million questions here that I'm asking. I know the people have them too.
All right, well, let's answer your questions. We'll go over the inactives as we get to it. We know the big ones, obviously. Anthony Richardson's out. Austin Eckler is out. Zay Jones, we know, is out here. Jamal Williams got placed on IR. Jalen Waddle has already been ruled out with a concussion. We know OBJ, Logan Thomas, and Bryce Young are out as well. So I am sure a lot of these questions will have are pertaining to that. So we'll just jump into it here. Elias, first question on the board. Good morning. Tua or Fields? What do you think, Bender?
Such a loaded question, isn't it? You got no Jalen Waddle. There's talk about some rain. The last thing that I saw as far as the weather forecast went for the Miami area was that we were looking at some rain going on in there. But shoot, who do I want in this one here? I'm gonna take the safe play with Tua.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I know Denver's got a tough secondary, but I just don't know what's going on really with with our good friend Justin Fields with the Chicago Bears, Luke Getsy and he are obviously at odds. So a lot of question marks here, John.
I agree. I'd probably go 2-2 for the safer play, but obviously it hurts no longer having not having Waddle in that offense today. He also wants to know pick one for a wide receiver and then one for a flex. Jamar Chase, who would have thought that would be a question at this point? Chris Olave or Kyron Williams. So you got to pick 2 of the 3 here.
You know what? Listen, I'm not going to sit Chase. I don't care who the quarterback is. If it's Jake Browning, they also signed AJ McCarron, who obviously knows this system as well. He might not be great, but he knows the system and he knows the verbiage at the line. So I'm going to go with Chase. I'm going to go with Kyron Williams here as well. I think that he's really found himself into a really nice groove with the Rams. It is going up against Cincinnati. Their run defense hasn't been spectacular. They've been struggling overall. So, give me Tua, give me Chase, give me Kyron.
Yeah, I'm in there. Yeah, Olave's got a tough spot tonight, and the weather in Green Bay apparently isn't that great looking like today either. Next question here from our guy Rob wants to know in a super flex, do you go Desmond Ridder or CJ Stroud today?
Gross, but I'm going to say Ridder actually, because listen, CJ Stroud, I know he's throwing like 40 times a game, and I know that we're looking at a back and forth potential with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. You put this guy on an arm management program during the week. You can't keep throwing the ball 40 times. You look at that. So I'm going to go with Desmond Ridder. I think that he's got a little bit of a higher floor than CJ Stroud, who, listen, he could get his shoulder messed up during the game, taking a hit. And the next thing you know, he's out for it. At least, Desmond Ridder's there. They will run heavy. It will open up the passing attack. You can't just sit there and have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out for the Detroit Lions in the middle of that defensive backfield and not want to throw a little bit on them. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, maybe. So give me some Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, listen, Detroit's offense is still really good. So if they put this game into a shootout, they're not going to be able to just control the clock. They'll have to throw like we saw from Ridder last week, and he had over 20 fantasy points last week. So I do like Ridder, even though I do think Stroud's going to throw a lot. I have the overs 34.5 pass attempts today. So let's hope that rides with everybody. Mark here wants to know, hey, family, 10-team, full PBR. He has Cook and Kyron already in. Diggs and Lamb, but he's got a flex question. Harris, Mixon, Godwin, Kirk, McLaurin, Nakua, or Pittman?
That's pretty good problem to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot. No kidding, right?
Give me Joe Mixon running up against the Rams in this one. I think that you're pretty well set with Cook and Kyron Williams, Diggs and Lamb right there. I don't think you need to like really swing for the fences and say, maybe Baker hits Godwin or maybe Kirk does.
Yeah, I kind of like Kirk with Nosey Jones today going up against Houston.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Kirk. I added Ridley and I mentioned Kirk in the playbook this morning. I don't mind the play. I prefer a guy who I know. The Bengals are going to have to run the football. They're going to have to do it with Joe Mixon. Sure. And I don't love that Rams run defense either. Their defensive line has been, garbage for,
You're the coaching systems wizard. Let me know, what kind of defense does Houston play? Because last week, the reason Kirk apparently went off was the man coverage that Kansas City plays. Peterson said that Kirk destroys man, and he did not let us down. If we can figure out what kind of defensive system that, DeMeco Ryans likes to throw out there for Houston, if it's a man version of coverage, then maybe Kirk once again finds himself having a good week. How do you go against Nakua though after 20 targets last week?
Oh, I know, right? You don't go, you don't want to go against Nakua, and you kind of figure that he is going to get loaded up there. I'm not really that worried about the injury designation either. I'm not, I don't
didn't
think
mean to put you on the spot on the defensive systems question.
What's that?
I didn't mean to put you on the spot on the defensive.
No. Listen, I mean, it's a lot of, they mix. Houston mixes man coverage in with some cover 3.
Sure.
So you are going to see both from them. And again, the problem with the zone coverage is that Jalen Petry's out for Houston. So you might actually see a little bit more man coverage, which could, benefit Kirk a little bit more.
I'll say this. I think outside of not playing Harris in like McLaurin today. You have a pretty good set of guys. I wouldn't play Pittman either, but if you pick Mixon, Kirk, or Nakua today, I think you're pretty set. Really difficult to do. I don't think the one will be much greater than the other there. So a lot of great options there. You drafted well, sir. Good on you, Mark. Nicole here. Good morning. 2 flex for PPR. Also has Cooks and Connor in already. Dylan, Gainwell, Dell is what she's looking at here.
On the bench, Najee and Sanders. Wow. I mean, well, why wouldn't we use...
Or does she have Dylan, Gainwell? She has Dylan, Gainwell, and Dell on the bench, and Najee and Sanders are in.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I mean, I feel like, you might as well just go with Tank Dell. I think that's, listen, John thinks that CJ Stroud's going to, throw the ball all over the place. So Dell is one of the guys. And then it comes down to, Dylan or Gainwell. And I guess, you'll luck out here because you're going to get to see what Aaron Jones's situation's like. I know he was questionable coming into the game. It does sound like he's going to play. I don't know, see what they say about, some sort of limited fashion. I might just tilt to Gainwell for the softer matchup, even though he's probably going to split with Swift. Dylan's automatically going to split anyway with Aaron Jones. So I don't know. What do you think there? Help Lentil out, because I know that's Lentil.
So this question is actually, now that I'm rereading it, is written. Apologies, a little awkward. So she already has Cooks and Connor in her flex. She wants to know if we would swap Dylan, Gainwell, or Dell in for those two. And she has Najee and Sanders already in at running back. I would not. I would play Cooks and Connor in my flex and keep Najee and Sanders at running back and keep the 3 you have on your bench on your bench. That's the simplest way to go about that there. And Dunn's wishing us a good morning, and I look forward to all of your questions this morning. We'll do our best to answer those for you. Rob, again, D2 PPR, Sutton, Najee, Drake, or Kadarius Toney today?
I'm playing Najee. I have him in a bunch of leagues. I'm playing him. It's the Raiders. It's not a great run defense over there. I know that Jaylen Warren has looked good, and I know that Jaylen Warren has gotten some snaps. I think that there's a major fundamental problem going on with the offense right now. And I think Tomlin kind of strong arms Matt Canada and says, all right, let's stop with the nonsense here. Let's do what we know we do. Let's run the football. Use Najee Harris there. That's the way I'm kind of tilting. With rain down in Miami and a little bit of a concern there, I might tilt towards Drake London in this matchup here. But Kadarius Toney's got some decent upside here. I know that it's always tough to trust him, but I think if you're looking to swing for the fences, then I think Toney might be a play.
I saw a ridiculous stat that the Steelers had 0 yards, or maybe it was Najee Harris had 0 yards before contact this season, which is not good for your running game. So,
dude, no. How about this one here from the game against Cleveland that the Steelers actually won? They had -7 total yards. The offense did in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but it is the Raiders, and I know Tommy's probably about to be chiming in here because we're trashing on the Raiders here, but if Pittsburgh doesn't win this one, then there's some problems. And Jacoby Myers is back this week. So
for the record, I have, and it's in the best bets over at fantasyalarm.com. I have the Raiders -2.5 in this one. Okay. So Tommy can just keep it quiet.
I'm very curious to see if what we saw in week 1 Jacoby Myers is the real deal or not, because that could be a game changer for that offense. Speaking of a different Tommy, Jahmyr Gibbs or Gus Edwards in a half PPR today?
I'm going Gus Edwards. I have no idea what the usage rate is going to be for Jahmyr Gibbs. I have no idea what Dan Campbell is thinking. It's a tougher defense against Atlanta. I love Gus Edwards in this one here. There's no Justice Hill. I don't believe in Melvin Gordon. I don't even know.
Kenny Drake?
Yeah. I'm not doing that. I'm going to take Gus Edwards, and I'm going to get those short yardage and the goal line carries here. I got Gus in some lineups today.
Yeah, that's fine. I like them both. Edwards feels good to me. I like that the weather is getting better in that game too for Baltimore. And I said Tommy, I apologize. It was Tammy. Tammy here with the question for Gibbs and Edwards. We're going to go get Edwards this week. Ralph here with the Q. PPR, Tony Jones, Zach Moss, or Breece Hall?
Ugh, gross. I mean, I actually think I would probably just go with Breece Hall. I know that this game is going to be very, very sloppy. It's going to be very, very rainy. But Zach Moss, the center for the Indianapolis Colts is out, right? And you've got Gardner Minshew there. You're telling me that the Ravens aren't going to be super aggressive and super, working on that run, stuffing that run, and forcing Gardner Minshew out.
Yeah,
I mean, think you can make an argument for Tony Jones, but I'm kind of excited to see what happens with Kendry Miller today.
Yeah, I mean, I put up Kendry Miller in the value video this week as a pivot off of the chalky Jerome Ford, because I'm not really a big fan of the Ford matchup. I think Moss is interesting from a PPR perspective because we could just see them throw to him because they have that pass rush and they just have to get it out quick and dump it off to him. But I do like the Jones spot against Green Bay. Green Bay's run defense is not very good, and they're not going to give 90% of the carries to Kendry Miller right away. So
I guess I'm making the wrong call here, picking a Jet, considering the outfit that you're wearing right now, huh?
Well, I just think that given the weather situation, Bill Belichick's going to have 8 in the box and dare Zach Wilson to throw against them. So
I think that's going to happen for both teams.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I took the under the 36.5, and I'll be surprised if we get 17 points out of that game here today. Here's Ann's first question. She tied in Whisper, the original here. Kincaid or Henry today, or Laporta, need one.
Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta.
I'm on Ross St. Brown is banged up, even though he's playing. Josh Reynolds banged up, even though he's playing. We know David Montgomery's out. We don't know what they're going to do as far as their backfield goes. I think the one constant that we do know is that Sam Laporta is going to see 6-7 targets in this game. And he saw some red zone work last week. So hopefully that kind of blossoms into something more today as well.
I agree with you. I'm excited to see what Laporta does. Yeah, we had Jake Butt on the Quick Out show, and he said that Sam Laporta would be the best rookie tight end in football this season, and so far he's looking pretty good. Every week, John pops in chat says Baker for president. So I don't know if I'm assuming that's a Baker Mayfield, but I don't know if for president necessarily.
Strictly just a troll job on you there, John.
Because the very next question is, will Baker hit the 300-yard mark this today? And then he also followed it up, Fields or Baker. So this is where we're at now with Justin Fields, that we're wondering if we're playing Baker Mayfield over him. Baker Mayfield is at home, Howard. He's going up to an Eagles secondary that has been torched by Mac Jones and Kirk Cousins through 2 weeks. Do you think that there's some holes in that secondary to be exploited by Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Or do you think Fields, you just got to play Fields over Baker at this point?
I'm playing Fields over Baker. I get it, but you're also talking about an Eagles pass rush against a Tampa offensive line that's definitely going to be struggling. I know what we saw at Tampa for the first 2 weeks. I don't buy it. I don't believe in it. And, when you've got Darius Slay, who's going to likely be on Mike Evans, you got James Bradbury on the other side of the field. I'm a believer in this Eagles team. I think this is just one of those situations where, teams just feel the need to constantly pass against the Eagles because the Eagles keep bullying them and keep pushing them around. That's what we've seen. So, that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to go with Fields, and I'm going to hope that he turns it around. They're going to need to throw. They're going to need a big game out of him if they're going to want to compete against Kansas City.
That's how I'm feeling as well. I think after the comments that were made, there may have been some meetings here to get Fields comfortable in the offense and maybe allowing him to play his game and be less robotic here.
It's the coaching.
It is, yes.
Oh, wait. No, I didn't say it was the coaching.
Yeah, exactly. You misheard me. I was talking about the couch. I said it was the couching, that the couch in the room.
The couching, yeah. Tim Couch. I was looking for Tim Couch.
Yeah. The couch in the locker room was uncomfortable. I was feeling robotic after sitting on it. Nicole here again needs one flex. Has Zay in? Zay's out. Is that Zay Jones?
Maybe that's Zay Flowers, John.
Oh, Zay Flowers. Okay. See, too many Zays. Use full names.
This is one of those reasons why we have to use full names, people. I'm sorry to make you have to type and everything like that, but I mean, when we live in a world with multiple Zays, I think that just says it all right there.
Right, it's true.
I need Jones, I need Smith, I need Wilson, and I need Zay. Which one?
Rashad White, Jahan Dotson, Cortland Sutton, Jalen Warner on the bench. So already got Najee starting at RB. So we need a flex out of Zay Flowers, Rashad White, Jahan Dotson, Cortland Sutton, Jalen Warren.
One flag. Zay, White, Dotson, Sutton. I mean, I think I would just probably go with Zay Flowers, especially if it's kind of clearing up over there. You could go Rashad White, but I don't necessarily know if you want to try and run against that Eagles defense. Sutton's going to be dealing with some weather issues, and I think Denver's still trying to work themselves out. And Dotson is he's kind of a boomer bust guy now at this point. So I would probably just go with Zay Flowers because Lamar loves throwing to him.
Yeah, before the weather popped up, Baltimore was like our favorite play of the week. Really, outside of that obvious stack in Minnesota, the Chargers matchup. So if that weather's clearing up, it's full go for me here. We got a Baker as an easy 305. Someone is saying here. Random Esports says AR5, Zay Jones, and Waddle. Those are all out though, so I don't know if they're just commenting on that. And done here. PPR Sutton, Dubs, Algier, or Pierce. Sit one of Sutton, Dubs, Algier, and Pierce. I sit Pierce, don't you?
Yeah, I think I'm sitting Pierce here. Not much of a ground game coming out of Houston right now.
No, and they're going to be bad game script for him, so we're going to go out there. Nicole again, another Q in here. Zay and Pickens. Have Zay and Pickens in, White, Sutton, P. Ryan on the bench. Do I keep it or change it? So Flowers or Pickens? I'm going to play Flowers and Pickens today. I'm not going to play White, Sutton, or P. Ryan. So that's for me.
Keep it.
Yep. Better bosses. Okay, here we go. Next question from Jerry here. Stevenson or Algier?
We don't have time for commentary.
We don't have time for comments. We're questions only, guys. We only got an hour. Stevenson or Algier today, Bender?
Oh, gross. You know what though? I'll go with Stevenson. I know it's not a great matchup, and I know it's bad weather. But again, I think that what we've seen through the first 2 weeks is that Bijan Robinson's snap counts and touches have increased, while Tyler Algiers has decreased. And I think that that's really what Arthur Smith wants, is that he wants to, kind of ease Bijan into it. And, you're going to kind of fade Algier out. Algier would be a great guy to just kind of chew up the clock. But, yeah, I'd probably go with Stevenson here.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there. Again, it just feels just like one of those run-heavy games. And the Patriots' troubles have really been pass blocking. But I think if they don't have to worry about pass blocking in the rain, they might just be able to run. Angie here, Brian Robinson or Najee Harris today?
I'll go Brian Robinson. I don't think there's anything that we can argue against what we've seen as far as the workload goes. Yeah, Buffalo's got a solid defense, but I think that we're looking at some weather here. We're also looking at whatchamacallit. We're looking at a very slick field too. So that's kind of where I think Robinson. I think Washington's just going to kind of try and keep it steady there. So give me Robinson as opposed to worrying about Najee.
Yep, I'm with you. The Robinson for sure has that, and I like that he's catching the ball too. Like that was an added part of his game here. And with another question, Devontae, Sanders, or Kelly sit one in a PPR?
Damn. I guess I'm going to have to sit Javonte. I love him, and I think that he'll catch some passes and stuff, but I really like Sanders running against Seattle. Again, we know that there's going to be, it's going to be a wet, slick field, and I think that they're going to want to try and keep it reined in. Joshua Kelly right now, I've been trying to look and figure out what was going on with him. I went back and I looked at ownership percentages for DFS, and I was like, why is Joshua Kelly so high? Like, why is everybody in on him? And, I know that Kellen Moore likes to lead with the power run. So I was kind of just going back and forth and looking at different things. And there was the Dallas game last year against Minnesota where you saw a lot of running. You saw a lot of passing. You saw a lot of Zeke. You saw a lot of Tony Pollard. You saw passes out to Tony Pollard. And that's kind of, where I started to say, all right, well, if Kellen Moore comes out here with the power run, Minnesota's run defense is atrocious. Like they're giving up like 165 rushing yards per game. They've given up like 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. So that's why now all of a sudden everybody's in on Joshua Kelly. People were off him last week. They're back on him this week. It's a bad run defense. And I think that that's kind of where we're at. I'm building cash lineups using Joshua Kelly. I'm building GPP lineups using the Chargers passing game.
Yeah, I think the Kelly one is going to be interesting because if he does dominate the way we talk about rostership is all over the place this week when it comes to that game. Like everybody's 30+% super chalk. Is there a scenario where they can all have success and hit? Sure. If they score 80 points, everybody's going to feast just like we saw with
56 to 49, baby. That's where that game's going.
Just like the Lions Seahawks game last. But if we see us, an offense like the Eagles ran last week where it's just Kelly, there's going to be some disappointed those people who played Allen, Williams, and Herbert probably. Luca here, half PPR start one. Downs, Woods, Cooks, or Ferguson?
Shit. I think I'd probably go with like Robert Woods here. I don't really know how much Dallas is going to have to pass. Cooks is coming back from a sprained MCL. They'll probably lean on CeeDee Lamb a lot in that passing game. Woods has been seeing the targets. Like John said, CJ Stroud has been throwing. He's got the over on the pass attempts. So, I'd probably go with Robert Woods here.
Yeah, I think Robert Woods makes a lot of sense just because I think the game script's going to be there. Again, Stroud's thrown over 40 times in each of the first two games. I am a little surprised Josh Downs' snap share has been pretty good, around 80% for the 2 weeks. And now you have a little bit more of the traditional quarterback. And if the weather's clearing out in Baltimore, they may have to utilize him if they're coming from behind. But I think Woods feels like the safer play at this point here. I worry about Cooks. So that game's a 13-point spread. They get up, they're not going to throw anymore. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Thoughts on Jerome Ford here? Is he a good play? I don't think so. Tennessee's run defense looks to be legit. We saw everybody play Kelly last week and were pretty disappointed in week one. Was it Jamal Williams really struggled against the Titans here? It would feel like it's a bad matchup for Jerome Ford. Kareem Hunt's going to be active. I don't know how impactful he's going to be, but, I want to see somebody run against Tennessee before I just, promote Jerome Ford to be the guy this week. So if you spent your fab money on him, great. Like he's probably a good long-term play. Sit him on your bench this week and see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, overall with Jerome Ford, and I said this before, if you're, picking him up on waivers and season long, this is the long game. This isn't the short game because not only do you have a tough matchup here against Tennessee, but his next two games come against Baltimore and San Francisco. So you have to be patient with Jerome Ford. He will see bell cow touches. They'll mix in Kareem Hunt over these next three games. They definitely will. But then all of a sudden the schedule softens a little bit. And there are games, matchups more conducive to feeding the ball more to Jerome Ford. And so I kind of believe that you're grabbing Jerome Ford and you're holding on to him right now for things like week 6, week 7, week 8. Like when it's really crunch time and you need that running back, then Jerome Ford's going to jump up for you. So be patient. I know somebody out there spent like 75 to 80% of their fab budget on him, and they're going to drop him in 2 weeks. So keep an eye on him on the waiver wire too.
Yep. Ann wants to know thoughts on Dameon Pierce. He's a no-go for me. They had no offensive line during preseason. They still have no offensive line, and they're not in a positive game script almost ever for Dameon Pierce to be out there. He has to basically break one himself to be any sort of fantasy viable, or Houston's going to have to be ahead at some point and then lean on the ground game to control. So I'm out on Pierce until he gets going here.
The main thing with Pierce was last year, yes, it was totally fine. Lovie Smith didn't care. No matter what the game script was, Lovie Smith was going to run the ball. D'Amico Ryans in a totally different situation. D'Amico Ryans as a rookie head coach is now looking for wins, and he's not going to sit back and just run the football constantly if he doesn't, if his team is behind. So that's why you're not going to really see a whole lot of Dameon Pierce, throughout the games because of the fact that of the game script, like John said.
Yep. Rob here wants to know in a PPR need one running back, one flex. Pacheco, Reynolds, Sutton, Dillon, or Woods here. Pacheco's the easy running back call for me. What are you doing for the flex play here, Howard?
Oh, you take the easy one, dude?
Yeah, you get paid to answer the hard questions, not me.
Yeah, I wish I could like punch you right through the bam. No, other way. I'm going Sutton, Pacheco and Sutton. I'd rather take the shot with Cortland Sutton and Denver's offense putting it together down in Miami. in a must-win situation as opposed to Robert Woods, just kind of, second, maybe third in targets, depending on what happens in the matchups in that game.
Yep, I'm with you there. Random Esports says Damian Pierce is getting 10 targets. I don't see that one happening. Chris S.
It's probably the same guy who told me that Joshua Kelly was getting 9 targets last week and then decided he was going to delete that tweet everywhere.
True. Random Esports, though, do like esports. So, I don't mind watching a little CSGO every now and then. Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, Tank Dell, pick 2. Amari Cooper is one of my favorite plays of the slate. I have DFS lineups with Deshaun and Cooper in, and nobody's touching them because they think Deshaun Watson sucks. But I think that he doesn't have to be a good real-life quarterback to be a good fantasy quarterback. And Amari Cooper looked pretty damn good last week against Pittsburgh. So definitely Cooper. The next question, though, Howard. Garrett Wilson or Tank Dell? The Patriots are missing 3 starting quarterbacks, but we have 35-mile-an-hour winds. So what do you do here today with Garrett Wilson or Tank Dell?
I don't know. I mean, if there was ever an argument to not start your studs, I guess that would be it right now. Again, what I'm looking at here is, as far as, pretty good shot of rain at some point during the game. It's going to be more windy than it is actually going to be rainy. So I'm actually thinking I'd go Garrett Wilson here over Tank Dell. I really would. Yes, the winds are going to be tough, but if you just, it's sustained 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, gusts 25 to 30 miles an hour. That's the latest weather report I'm seeing here. So my philosophy about this is, if they just shorten up that passing game, you just get the ball into your playmakers' hands. Zach Wilson, just get the ball to Garrett Wilson, let him do something with it. And if the Patriots are missing guys, on the corners, all the better there. So Cooper Wilson for me.
3 missing starting cornerbacks today. I took the under 180.5 passing yards for Zach Wilson today. So I'm hopeful that happens, but Garrett Wilson could still be successful in a spot there. As much as I like Tank Dell, he's more of a DFS play, at least for this week. I would pick up Tank Dell and stash him, though, in leagues if he has another big week here. Mike Evans, Nico Collins, AJ Brown, pick 2. Pretty good drafting by you there, sir.
Yeah, right. Jeez. Mike Evans gonna be fighting with Darius Slay the entire time. That's gonna be an interesting matchup.
How big is Darius Slay? I had this conversation with Coop. He's 6 feet. All right. I guess I thought he was a little bit smaller. Mike Evans is still like 6'4", though, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, for this one here, I would probably
size on Darius.
I'd probably just go Brown and Evans, but I mean, you can't deny the target share that Nico Collins has had. So
cannot.
My personal preference here is AJ Brown and Nico Collins, but I can understand why you would want to get Evans in, simply because of what he did last week. And everybody seems to be throwing heavily on.
Put Bradbury on Evans? He's a bigger guy than Slay.
I think Slay's the better cover guy, but
All right. I mean, listen, I think Brown, and I'll agree with you. I'll go Collins and Brown here. And you're in a really good spot. I think all 3 wide receivers are going to be in a really good spot this week, but no doubt about it, the tougher defensive matchup is going to be for Mike Evans. So Collins and Brown is the way I'll slide with Bender here on that one as well. Seller says, "Hi, you beautiful souls." Hello to you, good sir, as well. And here, PPR need 1: Mingo, Rashee Rice, or Josh Palmer.
I think I would probably, because it's supposed to. I mean, is there rain in Seattle? Yeah, rain building throughout the game, which kind of makes me a little nervous, even with Andy Dalton there. I might just go Rashee Rice. I mean, the Bears are terrible, and we really don't know where Mahomes is going to go besides Kelsey. He has gone to Rice before. I just, there are too many other mouths to feed with regard to Josh Palmer, so I'll kind of pass on that. But
yeah, I'm checking some snap share counts here. Palmer's playing around 55 to 65%. Okay, so Rashee Rice now. He came in to say this was game script. Rashee Rice played 18% of offensive snaps last week.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I go Palmer. He's got the biggest snap share of the group. And it's a 54 game total. Like, he could be the KJ Osborne this week, right? Like, just a couple of catches. I lean Palmer in. That's where I'm going here.
All right.
Our buddy Dan, my buddy Dan, you might have met him at my wedding here, Howard. Kelly, Myers, or Algier, and no, he's not facing me. Which is good to know. I probably go. I mean, Jacoby's back is pretty interesting here. I kind of like Myers against the Steelers. What do you think?
I'm going Kelly.
Okay. Sorry, Dan. No agreement here. Check back at the 11 a.m.
I don't dislike Jacoby Myers, but you're also dealing with a good solid secondary that Pittsburgh does have. And so, yes, I mean, he could get peppered with targets and we could see that. Again, I just kind of feel like there's something to the Kellen Moore, trying to just, run the football and establish that play action super early. And you're gonna load up Kelly with some touches there early on in the game against a soft run defense.
Yeah, I'll say the one thing that you and I have kind of discovered the last few years here, Howard, is that the Steelers defense doesn't generally travel well. And I wonder how well they'll travel after spending a weekend in Vegas, and with things that, I'm not saying they went out and did anything on Saturday night, but, they are in Las Vegas. So, who's to know? But yeah, Kelly, I think Kelly's the safer play, Dan. I do think Myers is pretty interesting because you can't deny the target share that he got in week one. That Josh McDaniels, Jimmy Garoppolo offense just plugged in Jacoby Myers and he became a wide receiver 1 in week 1. So can't argue the slot play from a McDaniels offense.
And then he got his shit fucked up in week 2 and he just barely got cleared from concussion protocol.
Well, he got knocked out in week 1, missed week 2. So
there you go.
Garrett, our guy in here, wants to know standard league, Williams or Evans? I gotta go Williams today.
Yeah, definitely Williams there, Goose.
Nicole, full PPR. Need one for flex. Flowers, White. I think we answered this one. Or we did. But she changed Zay to Flowers. So thank you. We did say Flowers though for that one there, Nicole.
I'll say Zay.
Yeah. Random esports guy says Jalen Warren greater than Najee Harris, possibly. And he says every team puts 8 in the box against Las Vegas, so Jacoby Myers is going to eat. Who to flex in a PPR by Jedi Avenger, Kelly, Lockett, or London?
I'll just go back to Kelly again, even though it's PPR. I know everybody loves getting those targets.
I would go Kelly over those two. The rain in Seattle, and I don't think Ritter is that great of a quarterback. Brock here will pick one in the PPR flex. London, Christian Watson, Gabe Davis, or Addison. I'm going to go Addison here.
Yep. Same.
And is D-Hop going to sit? I don't think so. I saw
he's expected to play. He's expected to play.
But would you play Cooks, Bateman, or Shaheed over him instead?
No.
What do you think? No, I don't think so either.
If you had a decent wide receiver there to offer.
Would you play Bateman with no OBJ over D-Hop against Tennessee against Cleveland Browns? I might look at Bateman against Indy here.
Okay. I'll stay with D-Hop.
Okay. Sorry, Han. D-Hop or Bateman, the way we're going for the coin. Let's see. Graham Edwards, need one in a flex. Sanders, Gibbs, or Gabe Davis, and could you rank them? Probably as you list them.
Yeah. Miles Sanders, Jahmyr Gibbs, Gabe Davis. Listen, I know that everybody wants to love on Jahmyr Gibbs. I just don't know what his usage rate's going to be. I don't know what Dan Campbell's thinking. And I don't know what the distribution of touches is going to look like. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to throw to him. They're going to throw to him. They're going to throw to him.
But he did throw to him a lot last week. I think he led the team in targets, but
they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, he had 12 fantasy points. He needs to do more in that for sure. Rob here, PBR need 1 and 2 flexes. Kenneth Walker's our favorite running back of the day. Cover the playbook, so definitely plugging him in there. Cook, Ward, Mike Williams, or Jerry Jeudy. Definitely playing Mike Williams. So you need one more flex out of Cook, Ford, or Jeudy here, Bender.
Man, it's between Cook and Jeudy, and I'll probably just say James Cook.
Okay. Yeah, I love James Cook. I think that's a good spot there. Better Ross wants to know, are we super flexing Zach Wilson or Najee Harris today? Maybe one of the rare times I would super flex a running back over a quarterback, and this would be it.
Agreed.
Let's see here. Michael says, don't play Zach Wilson in the weather against New England. I would agree with you. And then he follows it up with a Nico Collins or Mike Evans question. You and I kind of went back and forth on this one already. I think we landed on Nico, though. I think we're going to go Nico against Jacksonville this week.
Yeah. I think Nico, believe it or not, I think Nico has the higher floor than Mike Evans here.
Yeah. Again, the matchup for Mike Evans certainly better, and Nico in a pretty good game script.
Yeah.
Here, Grande saying good morning to us. Good morning to you, sir. Flippy the YouTuber, not sure who to start. Garrett Wilson in my flex, or I got Thielen on my bench. Bender, do you got a Thielen this week or what?
With Andy Dalton throwing the ball, I kind of feel like Thielen's going to get. I think Thielen and Hurst are two plays that I actually really like this week.
Yeah.
Against Seattle. It's tough. Again, how much is the wind going to affect? If it's just 10 to 15 miles an hour and it's a slick surface, I feel like you just have to plug in Garrett Wilson and hope that he gets that Zach Wilson just gets the ball into his hands, just a super quick release.
Yeah, I would say it's probably Garrett Wilson. I do like now that Jamal Adams is out. I know Adams usually shuts down the tight ends, but just not having him in that secondary for Seattle changes everything for them. So, but Thielen's going to be in a weather spot himself. That game is supposed to get some pretty heavy rains at some point towards the later half. So go Garrett Wilson here and see if he can just do his own magic, which he certainly is capable of doing. So last one for Ann. She says, don't say that. You'll come back. PPR need one, Devontae, Addison, or Michael Thomas. I'm going Addison here. Got to
Addison as well.
Got to get exposure to that game. Robert wants to know any news of Aaron Jones is playing for Green Bay. I think he's supposed to play. I'm going to check that right now.
Yeah, the last thing that I heard was that he was expected to play. I think Schefter had said something like that. He is listed as questionable, but he did make some appearances late in the week at practice.
Yeah, so obviously we'll have the full update here as we get closer. Let's see. Schefter 17 hours ago listed as questionable due to hamstrings. The Packers did elevate another running back from their practice squad. Was the last Schefter tweet. So is that an early game? What time's the Packers?
It is an early game. Yes.
All right, so you'll know ahead of time, Robert. Come back for the 11 a.m. stream. Myself and Andrew Cooper will have the inactives for everybody, and we can help you out with an update on that one. Ralph wants to know for DST today: Bills, Pats, Browns, or Ravens. Browns are one of my favorite defenses today against the Titans. Bender, where are you at today?
Browns against the Titans are a favorite defense of mine. I do love the Ravens, though, going up against the Colts, against Gardner Minshew, against an offensive line that just lost its center. So I don't think you can go wrong with either one there. I think the Browns are probably in a little bit better of a spot to get turnovers. So I think that it's a stronger secondary. Ryan Tannehill has not looked good at all.
Yeah. Tough to run against Cleveland too. So, not that, Derrick Henry can run on anybody, but that offensive line versus Cleveland is going to have some troubles. Ethan here. Good morning. Sky Moore, P. Ryan, or Tank Dell, and then also a Jets or Browns defense. That one may be a little bit tough for Bender because we're using both in DFS today. But for the Sky Moore, P. Ryan, or Tank Dell, I'm going Tank Dell.
I'm going Tank Dell as well. And if you're talking season long here, I'll take the Browns. Just because I think the Jet Patriots game, could get sloppy. It could get a little ugly, but you could also get some really conservative offenses, and then they'll just protect the football and just try not to make mistakes. That's always Belichick's thing is, don't make the stupid mistakes to put us into a bad spot. So I'll lean the Browns there.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. Again, I like Browns were one of the first league defenses I identified this week as a play for me. Alex in chat, good morning. And a flex, Mims, Burks, or JSN? Mims, Mims question. Or Sky. Oof.
Yeah, this is a gross foursome.
I'm assuming you're in a 16-team league, hopefully.
That it got this ugly here in week 3.
Yeah. JSN?
I listen, I don't like any of these plays at all. I would probably say, since we've seen Sky Moore targeted and it's the Chicago Bears whose defense is just terrible, I'm going to lean Sky Moore here. I can't trust Tannehill yet, especially Burks going up against the Cleveland secondary. I can't go JSN yet because you got Metcalf, you got Lockett, and then the same thing with Mims. You've got, You've got weather conditions down there in Miami. You've got Judy. You've got Cortland Sutton. You've got a pass catching back in Javonte Williams. I'll just take the shot on Sky Moore.
Yeah, played 60% of the snaps last week, played 70 in week 1. Yeah, Sky Moore against the Bears is probably the safest play. It's close. It's, the ribs for Metcalf or what had me maybe thinking JSN, but he's going to play. So Sky Moore's fine for me. The business circuit here, Kirk, Tutu, or Gabe Davis today. I like Christian Kirk today.
I agree.
Rod here wants to know Fields or Wilson.
Ooh, I think you got a safer play here with Russell Wilson. I believe it or not. I mean, we don't know. We hope that Justin Fields gets it and balls out. We hope that they've adjusted certain things there, but I don't know if we can necessarily trust that. I really don't. I'll go Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Listen, I also think this is a huge game for the Sean Payton era in Denver. Are you going to go 0-3 to start your season there? I mean,
right after crapping on the previous regime publicly.
Too. Yeah. I think there's some pressure felt here on this, especially for Russell Wilson. He goes 0-3 in his second year after last year. Jeez. Coop says, good morning, go Pats. Love you, Coop. Talk to you in a little bit. Willie Hayes here. Pickens or Collins in a PPR?
I'm going to go Pickens. No Deontay Johnson. The rest of their receiving core is, I'm not, in love with Allen Robinson.
Calvin Austin? You're not playing Calvin Austin?
I played around a little bit with Calvin Austin last week in some prop bets thinking, how could he not go over 25.5 receiving yards? He had like one catch for 10 yards. So screw him.
Yeah. Listen, here's what I like about Pickens. We saw it last week. He can catch a 5-yard slant and take it 80 yards. So, I do think.
I know Pickens. You love Collins. You love CJ Stroud. Throw the football all over the place. Yeah.
He threw the ball 44 times.
Let me tell you something. I just want you to know, and this is for the record, everybody. I hope the Jacksonville Jaguars shove it up the asses of the Texans passing game today just for John.
I only need the pass attempts. I don't even
catch the football.
I don't even catch the football. I just the attempts, 34.5 over. Right.
Garbage tank Dell pay down over in DFS that everybody's doing. It's
all right. I'll go Pickens. I think he's a more explosive player, but it's a good spot. I think both guys are in good place. Ann wants to know if we ever sleep. The answer is no.
No.
Nope. Weather update. Howard, do you want to give everybody a quick weather report for those who are tuning in?
All right. Well, here we go. This is the latest on the weather right now, or where you need to kind of pay attention to it here. Indianapolis, Baltimore. Apparently it is actually kind of, it's kind of improving here. Light winds, just 5 to 10 miles an hour. Rain is clearing out. Game's not going to be fully dry, but there could be, with like a little bit of a drizzle, but there's no heavy rain that they're worried about in this one here. You got sustained winds at 10 miles an hour with gusts at 15 to 20 miles an hour in the Green Bay game, but the rain should hold off. Patriots, Jets, terrible. Gonna be some rain. Wind sustained 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusts at 25 to 30 miles an hour. This probably is the one that's going to get hit the hardest here by this tropical cyclone. Denver, Miami, scattered afternoon storms. Chance one of them ends up hanging out over the ballpark. But that's about it for down there. Buffalo at Washington. Bulk of the rain is already gone. Light drizzle could linger early in this game. Conditions, though, are pretty good. But we don't know exactly how sluggish the field is going to be just because it's been raining there all night long. But I like that. Again, Commanders defense, dude. I just don't believe in Buffalo. Carolina at Seattle. Rain should be building throughout the game. Light stuff, but steady. Just a chance of a stray shower in Kansas City. No worries, in there. So that's what we got there. That's the weather report. I'm Howard Bender.
We got to get you a little green screen next time, Howard. You can point to the map. Andy here wants to know, back to Q questions, Pacheco or Connor this week? Pacheco's healthy, good to go. You kind of limited him last week too, so I'm not too worried here. Chicago run defense is terrible. So I think I run Pacheco versus Connor against Dallas today.
Yeah, I'm in on Pacheco as well.
Aaron Ross here, standard scoring, need 2 running backs, a wide receiver, and a flex. Just say you need us to set your lineup today. Ford, Javonte, Najee, Karen, Connor. You see everybody. I'm not going to read everybody's name here.
All right, standard scoring, 2 running backs. Yeah, see, these are the kind of questions that I don't like, Aaron. You gotta make some decisions on your own. We don't want to do this. 8-team league. I mean, come on, dude. All right, 2 running backs out of this one here. I'm going to go with Kyron Williams. And I'm going to go with I'll go with Javonte and Kyron Williams for me. The one wide receiver that we're going to look at is going to be Puka Nacua, and the flex is going to be DK Metcalf. There you go.
Love it. Spencer here. Spencer, Sports Dog. Got to fix my glasses, I guess. Another 8-team league. Where do you guys find these 18-team leagues? Using Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gabe Davis. 2 flex spots, Kelly, Jones, Robinson. You have so many players here. I don't even know how to read this. What do you need? Tell us, what do you need? I have 2 flex spots to fill. Okay.
Between Josh Kelly, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, or Nico Collins. Oh, and Tutu Atwell.
And Ramondre Stevenson and Jameer.
Well, Ramondre Stevenson and James Cook are his 2 running backs.
2 running backs. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, those are his 2 running backs. You got to work on your punctuation. That should have been a semicolon after Tutu Atwell.
Trying to read this like an editor. I'm like, I don't know what I'm reading.
Josh Kelly for me. That's one of them, John. You go and pick out the second one.
Nico Collins. There you go. Mile High Luke.
You're so
good morning to you, sir.
It's like, I mean, wait, no. I want to know what does Colby Conway have on you? Are there pictures?
Nothing on me. Said nothing. I'm just looking. I'm a guy of the numbers, man. I'm a slave to the scoreboard. They just throw a lot. Superflex Dynasty. You need to target a 3rd waiver quarterback. Are you going play Gardner? You going Gardner Minshew or Browning in Cincinnati if you had to pick up a quarterback vendor?
I mean,
you don't even know if Burrow's not going to play. We assume he's not going to play. But if you need to pick up a guy, you pick up Minshew. So
yeah, that is the case.
Yeah. QB in a standard scoring, Russell Wilson or Matt Stafford?
QB standard scoring, Russell Wilson or Matt Stafford?
Is standard scoring a 4-point touchdown or a 6-point touchdown?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I might go Stafford here.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I think it's super close. Again, they're telling me that the weather should be, reasonable down there in Miami, but I don't know, man. Stafford's throwing the ball a ton. Puka and Atwell are seeing a ton of targets right now. Kyron Williams catching passes out in the flat.
Listen, the only reason I was down on the Rams offense this year was because I thought Stafford's arm was jelly. But apparently it's not. So if his arm is healthy after whatever the hell happened last year to him, that offense might actually be pretty good or at least usable each week. So I'll go Stafford this week. I'm fine with that. Smitty here. Would you drop Jordan Love, Gus Edwards, or Jalen Warren for Jahan Dotson? I don't think so.
Nope.
Next question. 7 minutes left, Bender. 4 minutes left.
No, I got less than 7 minutes, dude.
I got an accent show to do here. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Law or Fields?
I'm definitely going Trevor Lawrence. Why? Stop harping on Trevor Lawrence having a bad game last week, people. Just use him.
Yeah.
Use him.
Chief Pacheco's going to play there. That was his follow-up question. Addison or Madison in your flex? I'm going
Addison.
Collins or DK. The weather in Seattle has me going Collins. This isn't a Houston propaganda play. It's just I think that's going to play up there.
Next.
Sanders, Kyron, or B-Rob? Start 2.
Sanders and Kyron.
Football guys wants to know, is this a Devin A-Chain breakout party today?
Better fantasy numbers today, Devin. I don't know if it's a breakout party, but I do kind of I kind of like him as like you probably should have picked him up already, because if he does get those touches today, then I definitely think that we're going to see something out of him. I'm still in on Raheem Mostert. I wonder if is that you, Joe Bryant? Is that you, Drew Davenport? Which one of you guys is that?
He's got a lot of questions. We have so many questions, Ben. I'm trying to get through these as quick as possible here. Dan wants to know a wide receiver between this on DraftKings: Cooper, Addison, Kirk, Collins, Flowers, Myers, Pickens.
I love Cooper. I gotta be honest with you, man. Cooper is probably for that price tag. I'd probably jump in on that.
Yeah, Addison will be the chalkier play. Getting exposure there, you can pivot off Cooper. I think Pacheco will be fine. Hobby World, Jared McDonald here. Pacheco, Kirk, Myers, Collins, or Hopkins at flex.
Pacheco, Kirk, Myers, Nico Collins, or Hopkins at flex. All right, comes down to Kirk or Myers. You tell me.
Kirk.
There it is.
Football guys again. Desperation. Would you play Dalton out there versus the Panthers?
I mean, if you're really that desperate, sure. Why the hell not?
I would agree with you there. All right, guys. I know there's a lot more questions in chat here. Benner's going to be on SiriusXM for the next hour with Andrew Cooper. Roll over there and then subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, because we'll be back live at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Myself and Andrew Cooper to answer your questions here. Also, you can go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or go to fantasyalarm.com/win. 7-day free trial offer right now. Sign up, get this week and next week for free. Scan the QR code, sign up today, become a member of the family. We'll be back at 11. Go listen to Bender over on XM right now. We will catch you guys in a little bit.